right. We what's up, everybody? We're having a bit of a different conversation today. Oh,
Yeah, hold on.
participant, and he's half in,
What?
half out, but he'll be in a second. He's getting this cup of coffee. This coffee is important to y'all.
Okay.
What up?
Yes, all right. All the present and accounted for.
What's
Um,
good, fellas?
what's good? All right, let's start off with the pleasantries. What's going on with everybody? I see Charles. There's a work today. Me and Dev chilling at
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
chilling
yeah.
respectively at the spots, New York, North Carolina. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what's up, everybody? It's an interesting conversation topic today. I don't know yet.
That is who is that? You had a big like
Casey
nuclear
always
family.
protecting Charles. Always protecting Charles.
Oh, don't do that, Mike. Don't do that.
Oh,
I'm
for
just
real.
saying, we didn't
Wait,
say nothing yet.
for
Wait,
real.
Yeah, there you go.
You
why your volume
What's
coming
up, Trace?
extra clear?
There
What
you
was
go,
that?
Trace. Don't let him do me
she
dirty,
hold you
Trace.
down, man. She will hold you
Yo,
down.
Trace, don't
Oh,
let
you
him do
just
me
out the
dirty,
phone.
Trace.
Yeah, Tracy holds him down. All right. So
Tell
Yeah,
him
all right.
stop picking on me.
where we going with it? He got his cup of coffee. Tracy, I know one thing. I know Charles is. See him drinking his coffee. He's a coffee connoisseur. I told him he's surprised he don't have his own like little percolator at work. And, has like a little label on
Yo,
it.
I just actually bought some coffee where the beans was from Kenya. Yeah, the joint was it was actually pretty smooth. I liked it. I gotta look on the name again. I ordered it off Amazon. I've been going through there sometimes just trying different coffees. But I'm not a crazy coffee drinker. Like I normally only drink one a day.
That one drink, that one thing is serious though. It's just like
Yeah, I drink that Cafe Bustelo too. I used to drink that a lot. I don't really drink it that much no more, but I used to.
yeah, that's good. Like Spanish coffees we having like what I guess is stronger. They got more flavor to it and stuff. It's a little, can't
Yeah,
stand coffee that is
I
like
order a coffee, Colombian one.
look, we always be having interesting weird.
You want to hear something crazy?
Your volume sound a little. Charles sounds extra loud. Yours sounds a little low. What were you saying?
And I was saying, you want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
I've never drank coffee a day in my life. Nothing.
Wow,
Uh,
not one
The only
cup.
thing I ever
Wow.
did was when I was growing up, coffee ice cream. I used to love it.
Oh, I used to hate that. I used to think it was like
Nah,
the
I
best
thought
ice
ice
cream man. I was
cream
like, why
was
they even make
good,
it?
Yeah.
but nah, man, coffee, I couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Especially as a kid, I was like, coffee ice cream. I was like, the hell?
Couldn't
But
touch it.
nowadays it's crazy. It's crazy when you go to like you pass like a Starbucks and stuff and be like, I remember like driving. I was to or from work or something like that. One day it was like all these high school kids was lined up in like Starbucks, like drinking coffee. I'm like, damn, they like high school and junior high school. Maybe it was driving through like a
Yeah.
Scarborough or something, but they was like, because it was like $5. But it was like, I don't know. It was like, he's lined up like they were little executives or something, like waiting for their coffee. Like, what the hell? All right, all the players. All right, so we're getting into a little bit of a different topic today, right? So the general idea is now. I'm gonna preface this by saying we're kind of free flowing with this topic, right? So we're gonna need a lot of participation from everybody out there because we don't have a set script for this one, right? So we're gonna tread lightly. No, we're gonna tread lightly. We're gonna just discuss it.
Yeah,
But
we
so
gonna
the general thought was just to have like kind of an open discussion and with feedback from us, from a male perspective, like so. And part of that was spurred like a while back. We had a conversation that dipped a little bit into like relationships conversations, and a couple of people started asking us questions. It was something we kind of, we never really revisited. So it could be, I don't know, it could be relationship stuff. It could be, I don't know, it could be a problem with something's wrong at the house and I need to fix it. What's your opinion? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going to, but I think, so when we were talking amongst ourselves, right, we Charles and Dev, I thought of one of the things that I thought of, and I don't know if this is the best intro to start it off with, but this is one thing I thought of, right? Something I don't know, it came up over and over again, like over the years, just in me thinking, right? So one of the things based on relationship stuff, like something I thought about crazy is like, we're all in our 40 plus years or whatever. I'm just gonna say that, right? And so, like, I was thinking, like, all the years of dating since when you were like, teens, started dating in teens and 20s, 30s, whatever. And I thought about, like, for each one of us individually, like all the people you dated, and whether you dated, been engaged with, and or married, and whatever the situation is. And I was thinking, like, a lot of people have problems, tough finding like the right person, stuff like that. And one question came up to me, is like, from all the people you dated, how many of those people are people you're like, I can really like see myself with them, like they were really keepers, and maybe something messed up happened in the relationship, or they were like, it was too early on or something like that. But somebody who I really got along with, and I thought that this was like a real keeper, like somebody I could, see myself with for a long period of time in the younger years and even older years, right? And I don't know, like, even if somebody has comments that they can put up on there, like how many people, what's the number of people you've run across, that had made that kind of impact or came across to you. Actually, let me throw that around the room. I don't know. Well, it's kind of hard to. No, is that a throw around the room question? What the hell? See if y'all got an answer for it, right?
Start with Dev. Start with Dev.
Let me see if I can phrase a question right.
No, hold up. For what you have right now, can you read the question that you have, the way it's formulated in your brain, the way you just said it? What is it? Just regardless of what you just said, say it the same. Say it. It's okay.
I guess. All right. So I guess my question is, okay. Here's a question: if you're in a relationship now, count that person as one. That's a disclaimer, right? So that's the one, right?
Right.
Everybody. Now reverse that and go back everybody you dealt with. So that's the way we're gonna do this math. If you're in a relationship now, that's one. Regardless of your situation, it said that's one. And now add to that anybody else you dealt with in the past and be like, yo, they was like I saw them and this was like I don't know how the hell you word it. Like, what is it? It's somebody who's like a real keeper. Like, man, I could, like, they were there.
That's somebody from your past that if it's all hypothetical, but at that time,
I mean, well, it's how you thought about them.
Hear me. So an energy, a person from your past, or that you dated, maybe crushed on or whatever, that you were like, yo, I can see myself with this person.
Oh, good point. So maybe you didn't even have to be in a relationship with him. Like, say you was close to him, knew him, everything, and you was like, dude, this could have been whatever. This could have been my everything kind of thing. But you identified that one person as somebody who's crossed your path. And even I see Tempest just mentioned like the love at first sight. I don't know if that's fulfilling. We got to talk about that. I don't know. You saying no, Charles? I see you shaking your head. Maybe
love at first. Nah.
Maybe I'm not talking about that. Maybe I'm not. I'm trying to define the question, Deb. And so it's a person that you identify. You look back on, and you're counting one. If there's one now, you look at them as like this person had everything together. Put it that way. They had all. They fit my checklist or whatever. Like whatever.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start it with this, and I'm treading on as much light as humanly possible. And I want really quickly. I do want to just welcome everybody that's here hanging out with us. I'm just gonna pull some from the chat really quick. We got Tracy hanging out, who's I'm gonna call her Charles Defender #1, even when his audio is off. And we got Regine. We got Sheena's here. We got Temp. We got Denise, and
the one that got away. Somebody put that.
Sheena is a fellow Falcon, by the way. But what were you saying?
I saw a comment that said Denise said the one that got away. Yeah, the one that got away is definitely a count.
You know what? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Hey, me and Charles had a conversation maybe like a year ago. And when I tell you the 6 degrees of separation and 4 degrees, and I don't even know if it was 2 degrees. And I told him a story, and he was like, "What?" And he knew who she was. He knew her. And it's just, I was young, man. I used to listen to Prince when I was a little guy. You know what I'm saying? And, Purple Rain album and stuff, and my little crush at camp, whatever. Charles actually, he knows my crush from camp, and I can't say that she's the one that got away. I don't want to say that, because I was so young, but I'll tell you this much: she left a very lasting impact on me, and I'm gonna leave that one right there. But as far as more real,
wait. So is that a one? Is that a count, or is that not a count?
You
can define it however you want. Like I see, define it however you want. You want to add them to the list?
I'll put it to you this way: when I found her on Facebook many years later, and we talked briefly, I'm not going to say I would give her a count, because even then I was so young. What do you really know about relationships? Like, I didn't know about relationships, but I can honestly say that she taught me a few things about. I don't know if you can say relationships, just whatever relationships was at that time for me. And, it's just a small world, man. Because actually, Mike, you might have been at the same prom she was at. It's a discussion we'll have to talk about. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike, no. Mike,
no.
Oh yeah, we all just like say. Wait, let me make a point. So I see Tracy's putting up, but your relationship priority should have changed from high school to now. Wasn't thinking about who was forever back in high school. But
we're talking about
reality. I think your reality at that time of like who was that person who was like perfect for you. I think that counts, right? I think that.
Listen, she counts. I'm not going to.
It counts. I think it still counts. Like, yeah, it's going to change, right? It could change for all of us. It could change like today and be something different like 10 years from now, right?
That's maturity. You know what I mean? But I'm not. I honestly don't think. I can't honestly say that for what my standards were and for the way I viewed relationships at that time. I can't honestly say that she got away per se. I just, I don't know. Because right now, like you said, we sort of piecing this thing together. I don't know. How about this?
You know what? I don't think that.
Maybe I can get some. I could possibly.
Yeah, no, you know what? I think when you say got away.
We skating over this. Give a tentative number. If you got to revisit it, come back.
Nah, but you know what I think, Mike? I think that when you say, I think that the got away part is maybe what's throwing it a little bit versus say that, like, I can say this at different stages of dating, let's say, that I could reflect back and be like, damn, with her, maybe I should have did something different, or like something like that. I think people revisit it, not maybe so much like Dev saying, like not so much like, oh, she got away because she was the one, but maybe that relationship would have went different if maybe I would have done something different. Maybe she would have done something different. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe something more along those type of lines. You know what I mean?
All right. So maybe we should take out those.
Because I'm not really sure. I think anybody like was the one that got away versus more like, damn, Cage, if I had to do it over again, maybe me and her might still be talking, or things might have been different if, even like, you a lot of times you reevaluate your own actions or your own role. Like after you and the person stop kind of talking, it's kind of easier to evaluate your own roles in it versus in that moment in real time. Sometimes it's like, yo, she ain't this, and he ain't this, you know. And then after you break up, or after y'all don't communicate no more, you sit back and you're like, damn, it could have been different, man. Maybe if I would have done this differently or whatever, maybe we might still be together, or or whatever,
Now,
something
now
along that line.
I can roll with something like that because some of the situations in my earlier years versus when I got serious, like in high school, I dated a young lady, and I thought, for all intents and purposes, I thought this was the one. Like, we're going to get married. We're going to do all of these different things.
In high school.
But we was doing adult things. So I mean, the whole relationship.
Wait. I'm focusing on. You said this was going to be the one in high school.
Bro, love is love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole concept of love is love. Like it is what it is at the time. But I was thinking about her not too long ago, and I was like, yo, she was dogging me out. Like, I looked at her like, she was really dogging me out. Like, and then I'm all, I'm all in the wind, and the homies is looking like, okay, bro. But they're not, they're not trying to. They see I'm happy, but sometimes being happy, they was, all right, let them be happy. And then when everything was over, I'm like, well, damn. And years later, I thought about it. I'm like, she had me. So what if I would have married her? Oh Lord, I don't even want to. I don't even know, man. So you gotta grow up, man. You gotta grow up. And I'll say this. My high school relationships were very, very deep. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it was marriage. You know what I'm saying? She came one night and like helped me read a book. She like stayed like 2 nights in a row to help me read so I could pass this class to be able to get out of school. You know what I mean? And I mean, so in essence, like, she's basically there. It wasn't like she went home. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, we good forever. But we wasn't good forever. You know what I mean? Do you have somebody that was a 2 or 3 or whatever the numbers were in your past night?
It was. Oh no, I wasn't giving a rate, and I was saying like how many. Like, okay, because my first thought was like, okay. So when I thought of this question, I was thinking about how many years you can go through and date with different people. But a lot of people just go through and they never really consider it like serious relationships or anybody who's like really worth like a long-term thing. Like, say if you just casually dated, whatever, and it never turned into, wait, why is there smiles going on?
Because I'm laughing at the comments.
Huh?
I'm laughing at the comments, man.
What? So
yeah.
Sir with the fitted. Wait, just 2. Wait, I don't know what that. Wait, both me and Dev got fitteds on. What? I don't know what that.
Yeah, that's why I started laughing.
Wait, I don't know what's happening. What's happening?
That's what made me start laughing. But
is that like? Is this?
I don't know.
No. I don't know. Nah, I can't get myself in trouble. I'm kind of.
Listen.
Yeah, I'm a little spoken.
Dark skin.
If that's the way if I'm taking that right, I don't know if I'm taking it right now.
Whoa,
yeah.
How you doing today?
Huh?
How you doing today?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Tempest straightened it out. Y'all might as well just both answer. Then,
I'm gonna straighten it real simple. I'm going on social media and discussing my personal life in that light. I would never do it. I've kept my social media mind in general for a very long.
Whoa, wait. You saying you're not even discussing status here? Is that what you're saying there?
You want me to repeat it? I'll repeat it.
I just want to make sure I understood you right.
Not only am I not discussing status, I'm not discussing anything personal. As far as my personal life. I've never done it. And I'm not going to start now. I'm not going to start because we got our podcast. Oh man, guess who just jumped on? And it's sort of good that he jumped on because he's going to.
Yeah, I know. This
Hey, Mike,
might be a little lifesaver.
Before we bring our special guest on,
Wait, he
Mike,
out. Something happened.
Mike, before we bring our special guest on, talk to us about you, Mike. And
shoot, I almost cut through. Oh, damn. All right.
Let me say, Tempest. My inbox has always been crazy. Like since the beginning of Facebook, going all the way back to MySpace when they didn't have an inbox. I keep everything just like when I'm shooting my photos, like this. I don't get caught up in that stuff. Too many people take social media and they jam themselves up in a lot of ways because they don't understand that it's social media. Your private life, you should have some privacy to your private life. And I've guarded my private life forever, you know. So that's just me, you know.
Who posted the last comment?
Don't worry about the comments. We want to talk about you, Mike. Talk about you, Mike, before we bring.
Okay. So mine was okay. So I mentioned you got to count of one for like present stuff. Damn. What's the number? So again, so it wasn't like how many. It was like how many people you put into that category. It was like it was solid, you know. Because all right. So what I realized is that if Charles, am I fumbling over my words?
No, I'm just laughing, man. This shit is hilarious.
So what I realized,
oh man,
damn, wait. Why Tracy saying wait, hold up?
Mike is tongue tied.
Yeah, all right. Now I'm back to it. I'm on point.
We got a guest coming on.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go through this quick.
It ain't your fault, Mike. It's not your fault.
What I realize is that you can go through your 20s, 30s, and 40s and approaching 50s and stuff like that and never have met somebody who was like, if you'd have dated a bunch of people, you're like, man, I never really ran across somebody who was like a serious contender, like somebody who was like really had it together, you know, and that could be like real disappointing, you know, when you look back on that. Like, because I've asked somebody this question before and they were like, nah, nobody really. Like, you know, not that you had to meet that person that you were going to immediately get married to. Tracy just said, move on to the guest. So not that it had to be that person you were move on to, but that you seriously considered of like they were a real possibility. That was it. So
who's that person for you? I mean, you don't have to say who it is, but did you have that experience?
Like, okay, so counting one, going backwards, right? I would say so with me it's a little more fortunate. I'll say two or three.
Okay.
Let's say three, because at the point in time, I thought there was a three, but the three didn't. Yeah, let's go on to the next person. Let's
go on and introduce our guest.
Yes.
Okay, because I think this is going to help us a lot. You know,
it's getting warm.
Yeah, and I'm just going to introduce him. And I'll let him definitely tell everybody who he is, and it's really good to have him join us. You know, we've had some incredible guests over the last 2 years that we've been going live, and sometimes having moments like we're having right now. But things are just a little crazy. But this is our coach, Coach Ken Canyon, and what's going on, buddy?
Man, I just got off a live, man, with 250 women on it. So, I mean, I could be doing better, you know? I'm great. I'm great. Gentlemen, glad to be here.
Okay, good to have you. Man, that's you probably sweating more than I was a second.
Nah, I'm not sweating now. I mean, listen. I'm listening to y'all conversation. Now I gotta ask a question though before we get started.
Yes, sir.
Now Deb knows, you know, how I do. Like I got live podcasts, but I get kind of raw sometimes. I just don't know what kind of show this is. I want to be in protocol.
I think you should authentically
be in Canyon.
Whatever you do, it may distract from us. So
hey, Ken, I told Charles, you guys are somewhat the same, except your discipline is in what we're talking about, and I really do want you to let everybody know who you are and some of
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Mike coming up out of his shit.
Yeah,
God,
it was cool in here before, but now it's got like
Mike flexing on him now.
I see, right?
Hey,
listen, I'm talking about. Hey, listen.
breaking stuff and everything.
But no, just the short version of me. You know, I'm a personal development and relationship coach. I've been coaching a long time. I've written 9 books. I've sold over 600,000 books. I've been helping people a long time, man. I don't want to run down my accolades because it ain't all about that. It's all about the people. But one thing I will tell you that I'm great at human behavior. When I tell you I understand human behavior. I've spent my life understanding why we do what we do, why people do shit that we do. I mean, because I'll be the first to say that, you know, all of us are flawed individuals. We're all flawed. I mean, everybody. And the truth is, I've always wondered why it is I do shit that is contrary to my well-being. You know, and it's mind-boggling. And so now on this journey that I've been on and I've helped a lot of people find the person of their dreams. Coaching the marriage, I've broken some people up too that deserve to be broken up. So wow. I've saved a lot of marriages, and this is my mission right now.
Man, welcome, man.
That's great too. That's great too.
Wow, you said people up. I guess.
Yes.
So all right. So let me ask you a question then. So since you've been doing this for a long time and you've dealt with a lot of relationships, what is if you had to keep data and statistics, what is the number one thing you find wrong or the most problematic that people have in their relationships?
Great question. Number one answer, why relationships don't work. Number one answer is your expectations don't meet your results. See, here's the thing. Whenever we get in a relationship, there is a set of expectations that I have subconsciously and consciously, right? But many times I don't make those expectations known. The truth of the matter is when I get in a relationship, we've entered into an agreement, a contract, if you will, that we've never written. And what that contract says, I expect this of you. Now, that contract that you've entered into many times we've never said we agree to this, but everybody has an expectation. For instance, people say, well, when I get married, my husband is going to do this, 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 and this. My wife is going to give me sex 5 times a week. This is your expectation. But once you get in it and you realize that my expectation is not being met, you're faced with a conundrum. Then you have to make a decision emotionally and mentally how I respond when something doesn't happen the way that I thought it should. That's the number one problem in relationships. Why relationships don't work, why we have over 50% divorce rate, that's it.
I got a comment to jump in with that. So that's a really good point. So I think so the disconnect starts to happen with that, and this is in every relationship, is that you start off with your interview process, right? And that's all through dating, right? And that's the, you know, how do you deal with this? Or what do you think about kids? Have you ever cheated in situations that, you know, so right. All those questions are kind of discussed, like, you know, early on and stuff like that. But then there winds up being like a disconnect between with, you know, how things change as you go on, and either what you said versus how you act. And I think that's what the view is from people, like, oh, you brought up your what's the word they use, your representative or something like that. You brought your representative early on in a relationship. Now I'm dealing with somebody different, kind of thing.
Well, that's a good point. And what happens to people is and I think you can attest to this, is when you meet somebody, most people send their representative because they believe the representative is more acceptable. So what happens is, if I send the representative, I believe that that you might accept the representative, or you might like the representative. What happens is then when somebody gains an affinity for the representative, they start liking the representative, then the person gets stuck in the role. They get stuck in the role, and then later on, you get with the person, you marry the person, and all of a sudden, the person, you say, well, they changed. Now they didn't change. They never changed. They simply was playing the role at first, and then they begin to drip feed who they truly are to you. And then you decide either you accept them or you don't. That's what happens. I mean, have you ever been around somebody? Y'all have been around somebody, y'all. You find out that you like, damn, they look different than I thought they was. Did that ever happen to any of y'all?
Yeah.
You was like, wait a minute. I mean, because your notion about who they were was based on what they showed you. And what they showed you was what they felt like you would like or you would accept in them. And then you find out later that sometimes they come up out of the role and you'd be like, wait, oh, okay. And then ultimately the person gets tired of the role. They get tired of playing the role, and then they start showing you who they truly are. And then you're like, wow, I don't really like this person. I don't really like the things they do. I don't like their combative nature, all of those things. And so what I tell people when I coach them, I said, let a person see your authentic, true self as quickly as you can.
Coach,
all right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Can I ask you a question? So something I was discussing recently, I remember it's a little relevant because, Will Smith has been in the news lately, right? But he one of the things he was always talking about, him and his wife were talking about, is that they've been searching out for, like, you know, they realized they dealt with stuff wrong in their relationship early on, and they were expecting the other one to make them happy, right? So they said they came to this big realization that Will says, he was expecting Jada to make him happy, and she was expecting him to make her happy. And I think that's what you're referring to, like the expectations. And then they said that they came to the realization that they need to make themselves happy and then kind of bring that together, right? So when I heard that, I said, that seems right, partially right, but I think there's like a missing component of that, right? So when and my thought was, this is just how I processed the thought myself. My thought is that because you are a couple, then so there's your individual happiness, but then there's the third part, that's the relationship, right? That's the partnership, right? And so I think and tell me if I'm wrong. But I think there are certain like obligations that you have, like in kind of entrusting each other in the relationship to make things work, right? So it doesn't have to be making that other, ensuring that person's happiness,
right.
But in, whether it's your any kind of partnership, whether it's a business, relationship, friendship, whatever, there's something you need to do to protect that relationship itself, and some of those include expectations, right? And I don't think those are like unreasonable things, like, so, but I don't know if that's something you've heard before, but if it makes sense at all. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, and I actually agree with you. Expectations are not unreasonable, but what makes them unreasonable is when they've never been shared. So if I have an expectation of you and I've never told you what that expectation is, and then I penalize you for the expectation that you don't even know exists, now that's when it becomes negative. All right. But as far as what you were saying, I agree with you 100%. We all have an obligation to the relationship. It's just like if all four of us were in business, right? And we all had a role in the business. Right. Well, we're responsible. We have an obligation to our role in the business as it pertains to the business, whatever that is. Yes. And the same thing for relationships. Yes. Everybody has a responsibility and an obligation to do the best that they can for the relationship so that the relationship survives. Absolutely. I agree with you.
All right. See, 1 point for Michael. All right, now,
Charles,
see if y'all can contribute here, man. I can sit back now.
We listen. I asked the first question, man. I got it rolling. I'm
listening now. Me and Coach.
Listen.
I got
it rolling. Y'all go Deb.
But right here,
and then Mike wanted to come and then I'm like, hold up. And then
I told Deb, I said, Deb, you ain't got to do nothing but call me. That's it. That's all you got to do. You do one thing but call. But I have a question for you guys. And I want to ask you a question. From a man's perspective, from your perspective, what is, if you could narrow it down, and I know it's kind of a complex question, but sometimes, but what would be the determining factor for you to say that you're dating different women and you sold on one? What would have to happen? Who would she have to be in your life for you to say this woman is the one? What would have to happen for each one of you individually?
Damn, I'm last. Go ahead, because I was
No,
already.
you first. No, you are first. We are not doing this tonight. We got Kenneth Canyon on here. Let's go, Mike. What you got?
All right. All right. I'm because I was knocking things over and stuff before. I'm gonna dive right in. I'm gonna just soldier this thing straight through. All right. So the quick. All right. So to start off, I think someone had mentioned before that that the expectations of those things change with time as we get older, right? So I think that's true, right? I realize, when you're younger, 16, 17, it's just looks, and if they were popular, like whatever it might be, they're funny, so body, whatever, all that stuff all that came into play, right? So with me, I think as I got older, like the most, all right, so the attraction needs to definitely be there, right? But to be honest with you, like one of the things I find like most attractive is the ability of, well, married now, whatever, but I'm putting this prior to that, whatever, in relationship, is the ability for the other person to compliment me in like every way, right? So, somebody said credit. So it's to compliment me in every way, right? So like whatever and maybe that's not good, because then that's the expectations thing. But that's what I like. Right? So I like it. So I like the fact of like if I'm missing a little something, like they help, put that.
I understand what you're saying.
Stand up straight, you know what I mean? So, but I think that's for me, and so, but that covers like a number of different areas, I think. So I think just the whole thing of them complimenting like me individually. All right, that's my quick answer.
So let me just comment on that. That's called polarity. So it would be no cold without hot. There would be no night without day. So I understand you want a person who adds polarity to your life. I get it.
I need some polarity. Let's move this quick to Deborah Charles there, because I'm starting to feel warm.
Mike's starting to feel like he in the hot seat.
we haven't got on anything like too detailed or something. I just, you know what it is, because I don't know where the conversation is going to go. So I'm just going to
I'm sitting back and enjoying it, kid.
So what the hell? That's why I'm sitting back now.
All right, who's next? Who's next? Who answering next?
You got it, Charles.
You want to go, Dev?
I mean, my answer is technically the same as from when I was young. I was raised by my mother, who was
thank you, Dina,
straight talker of straight talkers. Look you right in your face and just be like, she was a straight talker. I'm gonna say it like that. And then my grandmother, all of my communication skills I know came from her, because from the time I was young, it was straight conversations. It was never no Google Gaga, none of that. And for me, communication, I know it's cliche. I know some people say communication. No, it's literal for me. Like, I have to be able to talk to you. And I'm hopeful that she's able to talk to me. And the reason I say that is because my mother, God bless her spirit, my Mama Dunstan, my adopted mother, she told me where I was going wrong, in her opinion. And what it was I was communicating, but sometimes I was getting caught in time and space, not realizing that people really do change. You know what I mean? Not even realizing that I changed. And when she told me that, it took me a while to really let it digest. Because at first I debated with her. So I was like, no, Mom, because we talk about this and we do that and we, and all this other stuff. She wasn't having none of it. And then when I thought about everything that she said, I realized with me, because I'm an empath, so that's something I learned about myself in recent years. I didn't
stuff. I know about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I didn't know I was an empath. That was the catch, because the male ego sometimes it can show up in real unique situations. And sometimes you thinking you're the man, but really you're playing yourself. And I played myself a few times because my ego kicked in when I should have been listening. I was talking, just a lot of stuff like that. So for me, I'm telling you all, it's communication and honest communication for me. Straightforward, like even if it hurts my feelings, let me hear it. Let me try. Now, you're not going to get that all the time. So let me say it's not going to happen all the time. But that's what it is for me. And of course, I want to be able to look at her and appreciate her beauty and all that other stuff. So, but definitely it's communication.
Okay. All right. I'm taking notes right here for y'all.
I want to challenge Dev a little more on that, if I might step in there.
Go ahead, challenge. That's what I'm
Okay. This is light challenge.
Hold you back because I listened to you, Mike.
I
listen.
No, this is a light challenge. This is a light challenge.
You threw that baseball up and went to swing. I was like, okay, Mike.
This is a light challenge. All right. So if you could just clarify for me a little bit, right? Now the communication, I understand that's important, right? But I think Coach Ken's thing was like what lets you know if the person's the one. Now I know you can communicate with a lot of people, right? You know, not like a lot of people. I'm not saying women.
I'll answer that. If that's the question, I will answer that if that's the question.
But that was the question. How do you know she's the one though?
Oh yeah. So that's what I was saying. Yeah.
I mean, and this might sound mushy, but I feel it. I literally feel it. And it's not a fleeting feeling. It's something that through different situations, different challenges, I feel the same. It's strengthened the same. Now, that hasn't always been good for me, okay? It has not always been good because, again, when we started the show before Coach came on, I said, basically, I didn't want to say I was whipped or nothing like that, but if we're going to talk, let's talk.
Let's talk.
And my nose was a little open. I got my first taste of 2 or 3, and I'm trying to figure it out. And she was playing me. That's just the bottom line. She was playing me. And my stupid behind didn't even know I was being played because, she's fine. She walking around. All my homies is telling me she fine, but they ain't telling me she over their house. Over her house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make
no names in there either, too. Okay.
So through heartbreak, because I got my heart broke twice early. It made me a monster early. And a lot of men won't admit that. A lot of men won't say they were broken or hurt early. And for a while, I wasn't the best candidate. I wasn't the best candidate for any relationship because I was hurt, but didn't know I was hurt because back then we didn't use emotional words to describe pain. Oh, yo, she did you dirty? Yeah, man. Yo, let's go out. We going down to the city right now. We going back, da-da-da-da. Yeah, we out. And next you out. But there's nothing fulfilling about it. There was no lessons. There were negative lessons that came out of that. That's why, so Mike, listen, I'll spill. But
I think you answered. I was satisfied a while back. I think
you answered on your shirt, Mike. Huh? I want to learn about you tonight because I spilled. I want to learn about you, bro.
Man, this means you got to bring more. Look, we left out Charles so far. Let's focus in on.
Don't leave out Charles. Let's go, Charles.
Yo, I ain't trying to do too much but fuck, man, and hope I don't lose interest, man. Nah, just fuck.
Okay.
Well, nah, yo, I'm just fucking around.
You didn't say that.
Nah. Yo, that was a point at one time in life, but nah, that ain't. Yeah, but that in my younger days, kid, that's all I was really thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Hoping I don't lose interest.
About the progression in life, yeah.
Nah, come on, you talking high school? You thought you liked her, or maybe you did, or whatever. But at the end of the day, when I look back on high school, kid, I wasn't like into nobody really to that level. You know what I'm saying? I'll just, trying to say what listen, man, I'm trying to get what I'm trying to get, say whatever I gotta say to get what I'm trying to get, and keep that shit moving. You know what I mean? And probably, some people.
Look at this comment.
Yo, that's just real. That's how I feel. I was coming up. You know what I'm saying? And some people hate me forever, probably for it. Some people, whatever, but that's the way the shit was, But I think now, and the reality is, like, now I think it's like what everybody touched on. It's like compatibility, and I like that domestic shit. I like girls that got that domestic stuff in them. I like that cooking.
Okay.
I like the cleaning, but I'm not trying to domesticate you. I'm not saying you can't work or do that, because I do that. So it's a complementary thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I cook, I clean my house, I cook, I wash clothes, I can cook everything. I'm not just boiling hot dogs. So like, I'm very domesticated as a man. You know what I'm saying? Very domesticated, and I like that in a woman, and I get up early. No matter what time I go to bed, I get up early. So I don't really like chilling with people, and I don't lay in the bed. Like, once I get up, within like 5 minutes, I'm out of the bed. You know what I'm saying? And even little things like that. So I like that partner is up like that, like how I am. Like, it's all like complimentary stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's what was it called? The polarity thing.
The polarity thing. Right. But I need that. I need that intellect, and I need that domestic stuff, man. I need that. Like, I like coming home and to a cooked meal. But I will do it also. That's why I'm saying, like I will do it also. So it's not you got to rush home from work and cook for me. It's a balance, because if I'm home first, I'll cook for the whole family. You know what I'm saying? I'll clean the bathroom, I'll clean the tub, I'll clean the toilet, I'll make the bed. So I'm very, like, that's how my mom's raised me. So, and I'm also like in the yard. I'm gonna fix the car, I'm gonna fix the stuff around the house. So, but I have a big domestic side in me, and I like that in a woman that has it. And I feel like in this stage, with a lot of women being very career oriented, I think a lot of that has been lost. You know what I'm saying?
Here. In general.
In general.
So I can't let you out. I can't let you off the hook like that.
Oh yeah, good.
I can't let you out. First off, it's a lot of women that can cook and clean and cook shit. I mean, come on. I mean, damn, you could, but I need to know what besides that would let you know that she could be. What would she have to have beside that? Because that's a great thing, that she can cook and clean and all of that.
Right? It's the one we're talking about, her being the one.
But what else would she have to have for you to say this is the one?
As you talking about, as far like, okay, so there has to be the intellect part, right?
Okay.
Because I like building conversationally, like my mind, and Mike, when you speak to me, my mind is very analytical. So that part of it, is important to me. Let me see what else, like that. Definitely the domestic part, the intellectual part, and she would have to be adventurous, because I'm adventurous. She got to be willing to get up and go spontaneously. She has to be, like, I love to travel. So, like, all of those type of things, like, I guess at the end, like, just the different things that I feel put us in sync with one another. Obviously I want to be attracted to her, physically and sexually. I want that to be a good part of the relationship. But as long as it's like we complimenting us like that, it's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Okay. I can rock with that.
I think as you mentioning, like, when you have all those check boxes, right? And I think there's so many times when people have those unspoken check boxes, but then you run into somebody, either they're missing them, or as a relationship going on, like they start unchecking them when they start getting too comfortable. You're like, oh, hold on, wait a minute.
Paul said, "Get the cuss jar."
What the what the hell happened? Like you unchecked on my top 10 list, and I'm down to like 2. You know what I mean? It's like something's not fair here. Like I'm getting robbed. Like,
Well, part of that is evolution. And that's why relationships that were good 5 years ago aren't good now, is because we don't evolve together, and people change. They say we all go through a metamorphosis every 7 years, and what I will say to you is this: if couples don't endeavor to evolve together, they will evolve apart. That shit's real. They will grow apart. They will evolve into something that is not compatible. And that's why I say that's a conscious thing you have to do. You have to consciously make sure we're connected. You have to consciously see if our core values are similar, still similar. Because as soon as your core values get different, the relationship is pretty much over.
Yo, so what do you think about this comment right here then? About opposites attract.
read it off, Charles. Read it off.
It says, can't respond because many don't even know opposites attract. You have to build without expectations so the disappointments don't hurt so bad. So let me just say before you answer, I don't think it's realistic that you won't have expectations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we all have expectations that we want met. So from that standpoint, and as far as opposites attract, I do think opposites attract to a degree because you can learn new things from that. But I think compatibility is going to last longer the more similarities you have, not the more opposites that you have.
I think you're right on point. Let me break what they said down. Now they ain't gonna like me when I tell them this. Now can you read the comment again?
It says, she said she can't respond, but I wish she actually would respond and actually like break it down more what she meant by this. But she said, I can't respond because many don't even know opposites attract. You have to build without expectations so the disappointments don't hurt so bad.
What she's doing is coming from a place of pain, of avoidance of pain. Now, what I'm going to say, she might not like what I'm going to say, but what she's saying, I categorically disagree. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, do you hang out with people who believe the exact opposite of what you believe?
Overall, no.
Overall, no.
No, not at all.
Each one of you do this podcast because you have similar core values. You believe in saying what you believe. See, what I tell people is, here's what people confuse. They conflate two different things. We all are
inflation of issues, my word.
We all are attracted to people who are similar to us. When people say opposites attract, let me tell you what they mean. Because we're talking about polarity. But the thing about it is, if me and my wife have the similar core values, we can stay together. If we don't have similar core values, we can't stay together. What people conflate is personality. Like my wife, I'm loud, she might be less subdued. My wife might not, she goes out and dance, I don't. Okay, these are personality traits that are different, but our core values are the same. We believe in family. We believe in saving money. We believe in operating our household like a business. We believe in letting the other person be who they are and celebrating them. That's the same. Our personality traits are different, but the core values have to be similar for you to stay together. I'm telling you, you cannot stay with someone who has opposite core values of you. Now, you can stay with someone who has opposite personality traits, but what we confuse is personality with core values. And as far as expectations, you have an expectation of everything. You got an expectation of your job when you go. You guys have an expectation of each other when you come on this show. You have an expectation of the people in your children. Y'all, listen, you have to go into a relationship with expectations, but the expectations have to be known. There's nothing wrong with saying, I expect my wife to be there for me. I expect my wife to want to love me, to give me sex. I expect that. Nothing wrong with that, but I've shared those expectations with her. Where people fuck up is when they don't share their expectation and they expect it from the person, and then they penalize the person because the person didn't know.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you got some come
We
on
on
that one.
Yo, this joint is interesting, right? Yo, I'm laughing like crazy. Yo, but check it. Y'all keep going, and I gotta go take care of some stuff, and I'll be back. All right?
I like that dude, man.
Yeah.
I like that dude, man.
You got-
Oh shit!
This
I
is
like that.
all right. So I got a question. I got a question to throw in. So let me see if I can compile this right here. So how do you?
Oh, Mike, let me tell Kev something. Yo, don't get off when this is over, man. We gonna all talk, man, because we be having some crazy conversations once it's over.
Man, we can
I
hijack
can
them.
only imagine. I can only imagine.
What do oh, I think you gotta take them out. So one thing I know there's a number of different women on here, right? And so I know I'm sure one kind of burning question that happens, and probably I'm sure you run across women, is that single women, right, who feel like I don't know if there's any one answer to this, but single women who feel like they're doing like everything right in order to make themselves available, I guess, or to find that right person, right? They kind of have themselves out there, and they've done all the right things with their career, with family, this and this, but they're still like at a loss to kind of make that right connection and type of thing. I don't know if there's any kind of general like anything you see that's going on in that situation with women, or what are there any typical things that's going on where they're not exposing themselves or not, or they close themselves off too much, or like what do you see in those situations?
All right, so here's what I'm saying.
If anyone has a specific question, I want them feel free to chime in on what you think, but I just want to throw that out there.
All right, number one, so understand this. I'm doing an online, it's funny you would ask that. I'm doing an online dating masterclass starting Tuesday, and I got like 35, 40 women registered to be in it from all over the world. And the one thing that I've told them, because I put relationships together, but listen to me carefully.
And Deb, let's put that up for Coach Ken too, if we can, like maybe
they can reach out to me at Coach Ken Canyon on Instagram, or Coach Ken Canyon on YouTube, or Facebook. Follow me on Facebook at Ken Canyon. But what I would tell them is the first thing you got to do, and this is when they have this mental shift, is I tell all my ladies is you're a brand name product and you have to market yourself such as. All right, now think about this for a moment. We go buy Apple products. We go buy drawers. We buy them because they market to us to fulfill our needs. We buy all of the big brands out there. They have told us their promise of value, and in exchange, we give them money for their brand, their product, or their service, correct? And so I tell people, you have a personal brand, but a personal brand is nothing more than a mental imprint of what people think about who you are, what you do, and what makes you different, right? Because you think about some ladies, you have a personal brand. And one of them, like I told one of my ladies, she says, well, I went over his house at 10 o'clock. You know what? We haven't been. I said, well, you the pussy delivery girl. I said, your brand is the pussy delivery girl. I said, she was like, what? I said, your brand is the pussy delivery girl, because what you've done is you've tainted your brand. And so what I tell women is, let's consciously develop the messaging, the brand that you put out there, and then you will attract people based on that messaging. So many of them, they look at me like, because they've never heard this concept before, they look at me like, what the fuck? I ain't never heard that. But when I show them what it is, that's why I'm doing the online dating, because I'm teaching them how to do their profile, what words to say, how do you create word pictures. Most women don't even know what the fuck a word picture is. I'm telling you, how do you tell a story about yourself that the kind of man that you want is attracted to you? And so once they begin looking at it from that perspective, All of a sudden, one of my students got married. And she said, Coach, I did everything you told me to do. And she said, I'm married now. I never could have believed it. And I say to them, I said, listen, the first part of it is this. You have to make your intention known. You got to be willing to say, stop saying shit like I don't need a man. I don't want a man. Hey, all men cheat. That is creating resistance in your life. That is creating resistance where you cannot attract what you want in your life. The first thing you have to do is make your intention known. I want someone who's going to love me for me. I want somebody that I can love. Make your intention known to the universe, and the universe will conspire to give you what you want once you get the knowledge. And that's what I do different. So, so to answer your question, yes, there are people out there. There are men out there who want relationships. Yeah, there are men out there still slamming, fucking whatever. I get it. But there are some men out there who trying to be with one woman. They trying to. But you cannot, but you got to be willing to change you first, and the world will follow.
Heavy.
It's crazy you made that comment, because I was I swear, like I didn't even think about this right now. I was walking down the street. Let me see. Today's Wednesday. I was walking down the street on Monday, and there was this girl in front of me talking. She's on the phone with her girlfriend, and she said blah 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 blah, and she's giving her girlfriend an update on something with a guy. She's like, I broke up with him on Saturday, and I just slept with him right now. And I was like, I'm walking behind this girl 10 feet behind her. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? This girl's like, I said, well, he knew what he was doing. Like, he's like, and I was like, and you, not only are you like, I don't know, projecting what you want, like what your expectations are, but you publicizing it here out on the street. I was like, what the?
So let me explain to you that real quickly. There are three kinds of connection you can make: the physical connection, the mental, and the emotional. Okay. Now, the men, because we're loaded up with testosterone, that's why we want to make the physical connection. It's in our DNA. It's where we were wired. And I tell women, don't get mad because he wants to smash. You get mad because you gave it to him and he didn't give you the emotional connection that you desired. All right, don't get mad. But here's what I say: approach it differently. And men, I'm one of them. We will want the physical connection, right? But what you say is, I told this woman to say this. I said, yes, I would love to give you that physical connection. But the truth is, I want to get to know you. I want a mental connection with you first. Either he's going to leave or he's going to stay. If all he wanted was the physical, and because he knows the mental connection requires an investment. But women nowadays don't make the man invest, because we as men know we got to work for something. Whatever we get, we work for. When it's too easy, I'm not going to value that. Y'all know I'm telling the truth.
That's telling the truth. Yeah.
Telling the truth.
Yeah. It's a hard truth for some people, but it's the truth.
It is the truth.
It's the truth.
It is, and when we can accept, yeah. And the thing about it is, when we can accept what it is, the truth, we can move from there. We can start from there. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. And then, so let me coach you from there. Here's where you are, but you want to be over there. So let's get you over there. But you can't get over there unless you understand where you are.
Facts.
True. I'm trying to think of, a matter of fact, especially ladies, like if y'all have specific questions, put
We do have some comments that maybe we can.
Unless there are questions in the chat as well. I'm trying to think of like specific things that I know that I've kind of like noticed or witnessed or heard of, like, issues that because we can't speak for women, but I know, we're speaking from a man's perspective, I guess.
Right.
But something I think that's true. It actually kind of, I want to say it's probably fair to say too with me, Dev. Like I said, I think when I was younger, Dev, you said this early on, how you were like, you felt hurt like early on in a relationship, and like when I was younger too, like it was weird. Like I wound up being in like long term like relationships, even as my teens and stuff like that, and I was all in, like as a young. I think when you're younger, I mentioned this before too, like. in a conversation I had. It's funny, like when you're younger, like you've never gone through all the life stuff. So I think you do, like you fall harder, right? You haven't gone through all like, you know, the breakups and everything. So your heart is like wide open to everything, right? And as you get older, you go through that stuff, you know, you kind of build up a tough exterior. But when you're younger, like you're all in, I guess, you know, as a teenager in love, whatever, they might call it puppy love and everything, but you know, you don't have any scars from anything like that. So it's, you know, it's you, and maybe that's, I don't know, that's not something you usually hear like guys say or something like that, but you know, it happens. You know, it happened with me and Dev.
You see it with grown men now, though. It's not like it's not like because you're young, it doesn't happen to men. Like you see men right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess people gonna be less submitted, though. I guess like less.
Yeah, a lot of like sometimes people don't think we talk. You know, people don't think that men talk. We talk. I mean, you know, me and my brothers talk, and I just know situations where good dudes, man, like literally good dudes, they got dogged out. They got dogged out twice, and they don't know how to rebound from that, and they end up doing stupid things. These are grown.
Yeah, true.
And they don't know how to rebound from it. And then it's like, if I come to them and say, you know, yeah, I remember when I was in high school, such and such, they're like, man, you don't know nothing about this mortgage that me and her was paying. You know that I was paying. You know, you don't know about the car that she's driving. You don't know about my savings and investments that I poured into her and her business. And she messing around with this one, and I caught her with that one. And it's like, well, what can I say? You know what I mean? Because he's a really good dude. I've seen, and it's not just once. I've seen it more than once.
It happens all day, every day. And see, this is the part I don't like, because they did a study about cheating and people like that cheating. They say 23% of men cheat, but they said 19% of women do too. And so what happens is women are better at it than men, because you know why? Because a man's pride won't let him believe that his woman doing it. All right. And so he will dismiss it. But women are out there cheating just as much, not all the way, but they are. They are. And men are getting heartbroken, just like Dev just said.
Yeah. And that's it. And they creating some of those scars and stuff, you know, and you know that wind up rebounding back on women again. I hate to say, but there's some truth in that stuff. You know,
real talk. I agree.
Like I'll be honest. Like, you know, it's funny. Because I mentioned to my wife, like even years ago, I said, you know, I try to be like a good balanced person and stuff nowadays and stuff like that. But there's a period of time like, well, I didn't want to be in a relationship. Oh, now I'm getting into personal. Well, I didn't want it, but it wasn't even because I wanted to just run around like whatever. Like I wasn't there yet. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't there. You know, I had gotten over something from like, you know, before, and it took a long time to even work that out. But
sure, you
know, mentally, but I wasn't there. And I think with guys at certain times, like it's a hard thing because, and especially with women who are ready to settle down and the age is right and this and that, you know, you can run across a good dude or a good guy, but he might not mentally be there, right? And also one of the other things I know for sure with guys, I know was the case with me, like you always feel that, you know, you have to have so many ducks in order before you can even present yourself in that situation for a settling down type thing. And if you don't have that, if you're not in that space, then you yourself don't consider yourself ready for that. It's not even like, and I know with me, it wasn't even on my roadmap. It's like, I don't have this. I don't have a property. I don't have my job situation. I don't have my income at this. I was like, you know, you want to settle down? I was like, it's not even on my radar right now. It's not even possible, you know? And I think that's the case with like a lot of guys, you know. So and that makes him an ineligible guy or somebody who, you know, winds up being a bad guy because he's not ready to settle down with a good woman kind of thing.
Hey, really quick, Mike, you know, before Coach, if possible, you can respond to Tracy. I want to say this to your point about individuals that want to have everything lined up and the ducks in the row. again, I like what Ken said earlier about making your intentions known. And someone also had said something about communication, talking, and things like that. I just want to add this. I think it was Charles. It was like he wants to meet, his mate halfway. He can come in and do the cooking and cleaning, but he does have certain expectations based on, how he was raised and what he's seen. I'm how do you say this? I want to be careful with my words.
Nah, just throw it out there.
Yeah, just throw it out there.
No, I mean, just in a nutshell, man, it's like, I don't know, man. Let's let Coach, I'm gonna read this question from Tracy, Coach. I'll come back to it, man, because I hate when I can't really get my mind, sort of aligned right now with what I want to do. What I want to say.
Pull that together.
Okay, let me pull it together. But Tracy wrote, okay, so what if you're in a relationship with a woman who has been broken and hard for her to communicate the way you would like her to? Do you take your time with her or move on to the next?
Okay, well, that's a good question. So here's the short answer and the best answer. Number one, if the person, tell me why they're not communicating. Is it because they have healing to do? They need to be healed from the relationship. If they need to be healed, then they need to be healed. They can be healed in the relationship, but they need to address that part of it. Okay, where does the lack of communication come from? The voice not being heard. Was it child trauma? Was it healed because the last relationship, somebody took their voice from them, meaning made them feel like, they didn't have the voice. What you have to do is explore why. Because that's it, y'all, and nothing's ever black and white. It's always, you need to explore why. It's easy to say this is happening, but until you delve into why it's happening, because some relationships are worth saving and working through. Everything that I've had to work through things while I've been in a relationship. I've had to heal areas in my life while I've been in a relationship. My wife had to heal areas in her life while we're in a relationship. And so what the question you have to ask is this person worth healing during the process, or do they need to heal prior to we get into this process? But that needs to be a deep conversation, because some people don't want to do the mirror work, is what I call it. The mirror work and self-reflection. I have this thing called the self-profile when I have personal clients, because I only take 11 personal clients a year, just because that's all I can take, because I pour into them. And what I do is this thing called the self-profile. And the self-profile is everything about self. It goes like this. First, we start at self-reflection. A lot of people don't want to do that. Then we come to self-awareness. Then we develop your self-concept. Then we navigate self-love, okay, which involves self-care. And then we work on self-discipline so that you can become the person you want to. And then we can use self-determination so that we have self-transcendence, so that you become another person.
And that applies in life. That's not even relationship.
No, it's in life. Because think about this. The most important relationship you will ever have is the relationship you have with yourself.
Yep.
That's it. Because a lot of people are looking outside themselves to be happy. Happiness is an internal job. Another person can never make you happy, ever. And as long as we look outside ourselves, we look for an external solution to an internal problem, what's going to happen is we're going to go from person to person to person to person, because they can't make you happy. That's self-exploration. Yeah. What you can only make you happy. And that's that.
I agree with that, especially as it pertains to oneself, even if, like I said, not even carrying it into relationships with another human being, just in the relationship to yourself, I agree with that 100%.
Right.
I always look back on certain elements of, like, I went through like a real crazy situation, you know what I'm saying? Like, in my early 20s, I guess I'm sure some people on here who actually know me know, and, like a lot of times all these years later, man, I look back on that and, you know, the whole mindset of, you know, the things I was involved in and the whole mindset of like my behavior. And one of the like good things, like when I look at myself, is I'd be like, yo, it feel like that whole experience happened to another person because it's like it's so far removed from who I am and what I am now. You know what I'm saying?
I do. That's real talk. That's real talk.
Can I speak to that real quick, Charles? A lot of the times, we're not even given the space no more to become that new person.
That's real.
You know, and that's the, you know, when sometimes when we're talking on here, and you know, again, I always can quote my mother, because my mother, you know, she was the one that was like, you know, you have to learn to be patient with our collective healing, and that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing if you know there's work that you got to do. It's another thing if we walking down the block, and let's just say we didn't know each other, and you know, back in the day, you couldn't, you know, the eye contact, you know, or if you stepped on someone's shoes, you can get jacked. You know what I mean? But my mother's, you know, when she said that, I sort of applied it like, I get it. Because now if somebody steps on my shoes, if I'm looking at them from a healing perspective or just, I'll just say a human perspective, it's like, that's no problem, bro. Keep it moving. You know, love. Like, you know, that's a collective part of the healing. But we're not even getting that these days. You know what I mean?
That's real.
That's what I see, you know? And before you came back on, Charles, I was trying to figure out a way to say it, but I think I can say it now without feeling like, you know, somebody gonna pop one through the window and take me up out of here. But it seems to me that a lot of traditional values that men would want to have are completely under attack. Completely under attack. To the point where, you know, I know when I talked to my daughter, like she was telling me about the guy she's dating, whatever. Because like when she was like, you know, I want you to meet him, I said, I'm not ready to meet him. I don't want to meet him. You know? She's like, well, I said, I don't want to meet him. You know, when it's time, I'll let you know when I'm comfortable to meet him. You know? And then she was like, well, I just want you to know, we were walking and he asked me to walk on this side because his father told him, don't let no woman be on the outside. And it reminded me of you. It reminded me of what you told me years ago. So right off the gate, I'm like, all right, well, you know, as Mike would say, he got a point. You know what I mean? So he got a point in my book. But now, how does that relate to the now? I read people's posts. I read some of the women's posts. And it's not even just toxic. It's disillusional sometimes.
No, it is toxic, Deb. Just say it. It's
no, I said not only just toxic.
Oh, not only toxic. Okay.
Let me correct myself if I said not just toxic. It's not only just. Let me correct myself. It's not only just toxic. It's disillusional. And then earlier when I saw about the professional women, I can't tell you how many professional women I know right now that are as single as they come. And if you try to talk to them about, some brothers might want to be more from a traditional, I don't need a man for that. I don't need a man for this. But even if you don't need him for those things, what if these are the things that he's trying to bring, or what if there's some things that you could possibly do together? Basically, everything's just shut down. Everything is just shut down, and I just think that's unfortunate.
I hate one thing I hate when women be like, I don't need a man, and like I pay my own bills or whatever, right? I understand what they're trying to say, but it comes off so crazy, and I always shoot back. Well, then you make it seem like you only need me if you can't pay your bills, which means that whether you only need me for money. So if you only need me for money, that's normally like, what are you gonna do for the money then? You know what I'm saying? And I know that, I do know like what they're trying to say with it, but that comment right there just man, it just sends that like cringe in me a little bit. I hate when they say that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I need women. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I feel. I feel like I need a woman. You know what I mean? Because I want a woman. No offense to anybody that don't want a woman, but I want a woman. I love women. I like women. I like the whole shit about women. So I ain't never gonna get on no platform like so many women do and be like, yo, I don't need no woman. I could pay my own bills. I could wash my own clothes, because I ain't gonna reduce her to that's all her value is to me. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear that, it's like you reducing me to like almost like you only need me if you can't pay your bills. You know, maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but that's the way that kind of rubbed me when I be hearing it, you know?
Yeah. No, when you put it, well, at least for me, from a guy's point of view, when you reverse it and put it that way, it sounds crazy. Like you're like, oh, I don't need a one. Like who's ever heard like a heterosexual male being like, I don't need women. Like forget them. You know, it's not something.
But the truth is, y'all, let's be honest. That's a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear somebody say that, that's a coping. Whenever I say that, I'm coping with the idea that I don't have anybody. So if I didn't, you know, that's why I say that to cope with where I am in my current circumstance. That's why they say it. But gentlemen, listen, I gotta jump. I got 2 people calling me because I got 2 coaching calls. I'm up late tonight.
All right.
That's cool because we don't wind it down.
And you got to come back. We got to have a part 2 if you got some time.
I'm coming back, brother. Anytime y'all need me, all right?
Yeah,
hey,
no,
listen,
this is definitely appreciated.
I'm doing a live event soon where we're going to have women and men, and we're going to be debating real issues, but it's going to be fun. I want y'all to come out, all right?
All right, no doubt.
Definitely. Shout out your page again.
Yeah, if you want to follow me, what I want you to do is follow me at Ken Canyon, KenCanion on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Coach Ken Canyon, and on YouTube, it's Coach Ken Canyon. And TikTok, hey man, I'm like a little celebrity on TikTok. I got 125,000 followers. So
yeah, man, congrats.
Now, did you see that meme? Yo, I don't know if it's real or not, right? And somebody had a meme with Elon Musk, and it said, "Yo, I done bought Twitter, so now I'm gonna delete my Twitter account. Next up is Facebook, and then I'm gonna shut that down too. So you people get off of this social media shit and go outside and enjoy yourself, man."
Damn. All right, then.
Thank you, man.
All right, gentlemen. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
I'll be blessed.
All right, yo, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Deb, I actually had a follow-up question. Nothing with not too much pressure, nothing like that. But I was curious, like when you mentioned with your daughter that you didn't want to meet the guy she was dating. Like I was thinking how figure the old school way of like any time like a daughter or something like that has had a date. Like the rule has been like, yo, you don't go out anywhere with him before he comes to my front door, right? And introduces himself. So I was thinking like, what kind of made you like bypass that like old standard kind of thing? Or was it just you just mentally wasn't like ready for it? Or like I was wondering if there was a simple
That's
answer.
a good question. Just truthfully, my first year of college, I just wanted to focus. And we met at, like the summer orientation. And I just wanted her to focus. But the other side of it was I wanted to do it when I was more or less ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I would have met him when she was trying to get me to meet him, and she knows how I am, like there's no like y'all know how we talk when we're not on here, let alone when we talk when we are on here. And anybody that knows me knows I'm 100% what you see. And I just was like, he's not even gonna be ready for that. Because the questions I'm gonna have for him, and like I explained to her, once I meet him, and now I'm ready to meet him, by the way. So let me say that in all honesty. I'm ready to meet him now. Because there were certain things that I wanted to see first. I wanted to see if he was going to encourage her. I wanted to see if he was going to be like a distraction. I also wanted to see how her grades were going to look. She's a 4.0 student. She's doing everything that could be asked of her. But I knew that once I met him, now my expectations for him, it puts a pressure on him he might not be ready to hold up to. You know what I mean? Because, there's rules to this. You know what I'm saying? Like she was had a little boyfriend before, the little high school thing, whatever. And she went out one day and basically bounced. Nobody knew where she was for a few minutes. Well, me and one of our brothers found her. We found her in him. And it was old school. And homie was like, yo, I said, hold up, I don't have no issues with you. He was like, no. I said, no issues, man. We good. And all I said to her was, don't do what you just did. And don't cut your phone off like that. And nobody knows. She was like, oh, I didn't know it. And she really didn't. That's the funny thing. She really didn't. She was like, oh, I didn't know it. But nevertheless, she did step away when she wasn't supposed to. So when I got the call, hey, what? I'm like, so I'm at a place now where I wouldn't mind meeting him. And I feel like he's a good dude. But I don't know how to say it. Like, I just, like, she's not my biological daughter, but so it's new for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? With my boys, I know exactly what we've discussed and everything else. But this is new to me. You know what I'm saying? As far as a young lady, Charles, you got a daughter. So you would be able to tell me, like, yo, this is what it is. This is what you look for. So maybe I'm not handling it 100% correct.
Nah, I mean, you know what? Like, I don't even really, I wait to see, like with my daughter, I just always waited to see how serious she was going to take it. Like I ain't really concerned or, like little questions here. I always try to listen to like if she's talking to me about like things they may talk about or something he said or, if I, I'm always trying to listen for the game, like, to be like, oh, okay, here come this dude with this little bullshit. He telling my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, you wait, and then, I'll say whatever I have to say to her, but it's funny because I posted this conversation where, I posted right there where she said, don't let them minimum wage you. So I didn't know what she meant in the sense of, I don't know the context and what y'all was discussing when she wrote that. But
something Ken said. Ken said it. Yeah, it was a little statement. Ken, I think Ken said it.
Yeah, so she said no. So Tia said, "Stop letting them minimum wage you." And it's crazy because you know what? Because I think with this younger generation, I'm talking my daughter and younger. I think a lot of these girls be letting these dudes get away with like some real like lame shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be telling my daughter, so I always be like, no, you ain't out there fucking for free, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, but not on some, I be saying it just like that. I be like,
wait, that came out to no. Whoa,
yeah, nah, I talk to my daughter straight up. I be like, I don't ask her about her sex life. Like, we don't talk about like, are you doing this? But like, by the time, I be like, come on, man, you can't be out here fucking these dudes for free. Like, and by free, I don't mean like them giving you money. I'd be like, like, what are you getting out of this? Like, they win it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if, like, I feel our generation, because I see these dudes, man, and a lot of these young dudes, and I'm like, y'all paying for these dudes, man. They driving around in your cars and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, when did this switch up? Like, like when did this become cool? I feel in our generation, dudes didn't mind like spending money or doing things or their girl because it was like a representation of them, even if she wasn't their main girl, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know, man. It seemed like over the years it kind of like turned around backwards. I don't know if maybe the dudes don't. I don't know what it, because I ain't out there with the young kids like dating. I ain't with that type shit. So it just seemed like kind of like like it was going crazy a minute, and a lot of people I spoke to was saying like that's the same thing. Like, yo, they messing with these dudes. Dudes don't got no money. They don't got no ambition. They, you know, and I was just like, just seemed like a lot of that was happening for a minute, and I was just like, yo, nah.
Yeah, I think Dev, I don't know if you I know you repeated, but if you got that.
Mhm.
Okay, so Charles, you know what's crazy? So I think I probably mentioned this to you one time before. Like years ago, I had a conversation with a female friend of mine, and it tripped me out because like she and this is our generation still, right? So I had a conversation, and the conversation had to do with like her expectations of like a dude in her relationship. And when she not to get into much detail on that, but her expectations of like how he should behave or handle himself in his relationship was like so low. It made me feel bad. I was like, damn. I was like, is this the expectation that females have of us dudes in a relationship? And it made me like look at myself, like kind of thing. I was like, damn. I was like, and not even like I was doing anything like, my situation is close to that, but I'm like, I gotta keep in perspective, like what I'm doing. Cause I was like, if the bar is down here for the dude, like I don't want to be like the best of the worst, like kind of thing. I was like, that's whack territory. Like, I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, so I was like, like, but that was reality, like for this person. I was like, and so I don't know, it seriously made me like get all introspective on stuff and think about like, my relationships, my dating and stuff at the time and everything. Because it was like, the bar is like you're saying, how nowadays, the bar is set low. So the reason why, like, daughter's generation and stuff, I'm paying for dinner, you driving in my car, like, I'm buying you shoes or something like that. The bar is low. You know what I'm saying? The bar is low. So, you have one dude who come up, he's like, you want some pizza? It's like, he's a winner. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, he's a keeper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, he's like, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And see, it's easy to say, it's easy to just be like, oh, well, what type of dudes are you dating? But you just hear that, I just hear that story so much, man, that it's like, I don't know how, I can't speak to definitively how prevalent it is, but I just know I hear that story a lot, man. And like, even like inviting a girl on a date and paying for like lunch. Like, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. I like the, I don't think my ego can I'm not saying I care if a woman treats me or whatever, man, but I don't think my ego could handle like a woman just taking care of me. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. Like, nah.
Yeah, Tracy
You know what I'm saying?
says feel it's too low. As the man who thinks she's the one, it's up to you to show her differently.
Yeah, Paul said. Well, they got that frozen pizza. Yeah, they said.
So yeah, pizza phone. Oh, so Tracy on that, like, I think like that was my whole thing back then. Like, I think that as like any dude, nobody should be comfortable with that, and some are, like, you know what I mean. Everybody's in different stages. Like some people take advantage. You have a situation like that, they take full advantage of the situation, like, and but if you're gonna be a guy, especially as we're all grown, if you're gonna be a man, you're gonna deal with it in a different way, kind of thing. But everybody's kind of left to deal with the consequences surrounding all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, a female gets pissed off by a dude who did her wrong, and then she does the next guy dirty. It's just like a domino effect, that we all have to deal with, kind of thing.
Yeah, but that goes back to, I think Tracy said something earlier about like, do you stick around and try to deal with that hurt as she's healing from it, or do you just move on to the next one, man? How long, I guess, are you willing to play therapist versus, I don't know.
Yeah, I meant to actually say something about it. It's not a good thing. Like, so I know, like, and I know I've said this before in the past, like somebody, especially a female who is really, I don't want to use the word burnt. What's the word I'm looking for? Who has a lot of baggage and stuff like that. Like it shows, not in a hurtful way, but in baggage in a sense where it always shows up as defensiveness or a wall. Like that always comes across as a real unattractive thing, right? And which is, I don't know, y'all agree with that as well? I don't want to put myself out here.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
I said like a female who comes across, who carries like a lot of baggage, and comes across as with complete walls up and real defensive all the time. It comes across as like real unattractive, as an unattractive trait. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it can be. You know what it is? I think it's not her level of brokenness. It's how much she in it and trying to heal from it, how much of a burden of it she places on you, or how much she like subconsciously is punishing you for it or making you responsible for it.
No, well, before you get to that point, right? I'm just talking about when it's visible from somebody who you're approaching. Either say it's new or you can see it from being around. You have to be deep in a relationship. But I'm saying there's a noticeable wall built up from them from baggage, period. You know what I mean?
Oh, you talking about like when you first meet her?
Yeah, I mean from beginning to, it could be a month, 2 months, 3 months down the line. Like,
I mean, I don't know if either one of you have ever dated a woman that was honestly broken or tell you like, I'm working through some things or I have these issues. And it's not just like baggage from the relationship. It's like some real severe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wait. So before I dig a hole on that, let me differentiate that, because
let me come back to your point, but I'm listening.
Right. No, so I don't want to say. So I use the word unattractive kind of thing. I'm not including in something like what you're talking.
No,
about.
I didn't think physical. When you said unattractive, it didn't ring to me like
right. So I just want to clear that up.
I didn't think unattractive is not always physical. So I just looked at it from an angle of something.
That just been, like, so I don't want to cut you off.
When you said it, the first word that came to my mind was disposition. You know what I'm saying? Their disposition, because there are people that are broken and they don't necessarily wear it outward, and it might show up in different ways. And there's also people that are broken. It's just straight up. If they was on here right now, Mike Charles, I can't believe you just said that a few minutes ago, and they come in not realizing that pain that they is starting to pour out, and they swinging the sword. I'm gonna say it like this: it really depends on who you are as an individual. You know what I'm saying? If you're one, willing to go there with someone, but two, if you're even built to help that person, because sometimes you can do more damage than good. You know what I mean? If you basically think, oh, I can fix everybody, you already pretty much messed it up. If somebody loves you enough where they tell you like, yo, I got these issues, these are the things that I'm dealing with, I want to, continue with you, but this is what I have to work on. All of that can be either a bonding experience for some people, and if you're strong enough to go with it, so be it. A lot of people, more people are hurt or traumatized or broken than not. And I hate to say that, but it just is what it is. So, again, we got to have that. I'm going to say it like this. Just because two people are attracted to each other, that doesn't necessarily mean they need to be together at all, And if you just jump right in, and then, like Ken said earlier, that pain starts showing up and they start tripping, you're going to get results that you might not like. But if two people are honest enough and they're communicating, and that's why I was pushing for the communication earlier, and then two people that said, communication and comprehension. For me, that was sort of obvious for me. Like, yeah, the comprehension has to be there because, pinging back and forth. But yes, you can be broken from trauma. You can be broken from, yes, yeah. But can you deal with it? Can a man who meets a woman or a woman who meets a man who's broken, can they find that middle ground where they can deal with it? But gentlemen, I don't want to be the last word, but guess what?
You the last word.
Well, not even just that. We had a great show. We started a few minutes late, but we were right on time. Because we were all here, by the way, y'all. So we were on time. We just didn't press the little play button thingamajiggy.
Yeah, we getting better with our time. Give us some credit.
We're getting better. Don't clock us yet, though. Give us a little bit more time to work some things out. But in closing, Mike, is there anything else that you want to share? Anything else on your mind, or and same thing for you, Charles?
No, I think I'm good. Unless you.
Yo, nah. I mean, it's all good, man. Everybody. I guess we'll see y'all next. What you was gonna say,
I
Mike?
was just gonna say, unless you saw now some of the last comments that came in, just so we can just hit those.
Who's been there? What it said? A woman who's been there.
As a woman who's been there.
Off detective, but really is a shield of protection. What? A woman who's been there, it can off defective, but really it's a shield of protection. It can come off. Is that what it's supposed to? Yeah,
probably defensive. Probably defensive.
But really, it's a shield to protect themselves.
Oh, defensive, but it's really a shield to protect themselves. Yeah. Ain't no question.
Yeah, and that's what Ken said as well, right? It's a protective barrier, right? But it comes across it serves a purpose, right, to protect anybody's feelings emotionally. But yeah, it's gonna come across a certain way.
Well,
with that being said, fellas, it auto correct you, no problem. Yeah, it's all good. We was just trying to figure out what it was saying, though. But we feel you, we hear you.
Whoa.
Yo, Paul, yeah, I was awake the whole show, man.
Yeah.
No question. I'm going to be awake to 7 o'clock in the morning, actually, and then later than that, because I'm out of here, getting ready to go see your man, getting ready to go out there and go check your man again out in Cali. Which remind me, I got to do something next.
I was awake the whole show.
Yeah, he Paul getting on me. I be falling asleep like that.
Yeah, he remembers. Yeah, there was one show that was really bad.
I was like, yo, okay,
his eyes open with two.
We have more than one show with Sleepy Charles, man. We think we have two now.
Nikki says, very good topic. Appreciate that, Nikki.
At least I don't do it when I'm driving no more. Yeah, Paul, I'm out tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon sometime. Getting ready to go hit Cali, but this time I'm hitting Northern Cali, not Southern Cali. San Fran, Oakland area. Probably drive on out to Lake Tahoe for a couple of days, and then I'll be back. But I'll be back in time for the next show.
And Steven says he's not driving. At least not driving.
No, I'm not. No, I ain't sleep driving. I ain't done that in a minute, and I'm definitely not driving out to Cali right now. I'm taking the plane. If that was the question.
Cousin Paul, Tracy, Steve, Nikki, Tia, Perry from Straight to Tape, man. Thanks for tuning in, man. Let's see. Who else is up here? Sheena, John Champion. I didn't even know he was up here.
Yes, sir.
I didn't even see John up here. Kristen. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll through. Yaya. She was on a little earlier. Danny Ty. I mean, quite a few of you all. Steven, Capizola?
Yeah, Steve was up there.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. And you all are definitely the other hosts. And we love your comments and we love the energy that you bring.
Where'd Tempest go? I ain't seen her all night.
What'd you say?
I said, where did Tempest end up going? I ain't see her all night after the beginning.
Oh, I don't know.
And we're gonna have a follow-up.
Tempest, Bella. There was a few others. That's a good point. I don't know.
We're going to have a follow-up live on this topic, I believe.
Yes, we're going to have a part 2. And I guess we asked Ken to come back. And we posted Ken's information on our page, on the Real Talk page on Facebook. And if you're not following us, follow us. And thank you all for sharing and letting other people know that we're on. But guess what? We up out of here tonight. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
All right.